Hi guys. So, someone asked me earlier, how did you get over your stage fright? I didn't. If you watch the video, I'm like terrified. It's taken from an angle where you can't really see me shaking, but I am. It was my first ever solo performance. I've always had someone either singing with me or behind me on an instrument. I've never played and sang alone. So it was pretty damn terrifying, and it caused a lot of problems for me. I didn't project as well as I would have liked to have, but I was on pitch until the ending, but I knew the ending was going to be a problem. Surprisingly, it was a lot better than I had expected, because in practice I was having a hard time hitting it. Even my friend who was with me, hi Catherine, in practice, I practiced with her twice before it, the day of, basically right before it, and she gave me some helpful pointers, and I worked through it a little bit, and she agreed with me. It wasn't as good as it had been in practice, but it was still pretty decent, so it was a lot better than both of us had expected it to go. Because she knows how bad I get when I'm traumatized. First solo performance. I hate doing solos on flute. I've done solos on flute before, so I shouldn't say it's my first, but I hate them so much. The most I can honestly say, you don't really get over it. Stage fright isn't being nervous. Nerves are another thing. Nerves are what you get before a show. I can act because I'm not, when I act, I'm not me on stage, I'm someone else. And when I'm performing certain things, like with music, I have to be myself, because I have to put my own emotion into it, and it's a lot more difficult, I guess, for me. So, nerves are kind of like what I get before a show, or like opening night, where it's just like, oh my gosh, this could go wrong, this could go wrong, this could go wrong. Go out and do it. Stage fright for me is a lot more, holy crap, I don't want to get out there. I actually had almost started crying in practice the day before, or 2 days before. Day before. I had class with my music teacher, and she let us all practice our pieces, and I started crying. It wasn't even, yeah, I just started crying. And that was a nightmare. My voice was shaking. That wasn't even me shaking. I played that fine. My voice was shaking. I couldn't hit anything because I was focusing too much on not being nasally. Because I know I get really nasally when I'm nervous. I don't, that's just a bad habit I fall back on. We all knew projection was going to be a problem, because when I perform in front of anyone with anything, I have an issue with projection. Flute even, I'm very quiet when I'm playing a solo, so it was very challenging. We tried to work through it, but we all knew that wasn't going to happen. And of course I got the weaker mic. So, all I can say is, if you're playing piano, or if someone's playing piano for you, ask them to use the soft pedal. I dropped it where I had practiced dropping it, and I forgot that the microphone was picking up the piano as well, so the microphone kept amplifying the piano, and I had to scramble back for my soft pedal. So don't let them, if you know that you're going to be quiet, tell them that unless you are blasting through the speakers and everyone, you're drowning out all noise, don't let go of the soft pedal. That's some reassurance there. The other thing you can tell your accompanist, if you have one, is that if you should sing off-key, if you're really scared about doing that, to play over you. That was actually my go-to. I didn't end up using it. I should have. But at parts. But Yeah, I didn't end up doing that. I was going to. I was so ready to just slam on the keys and be like, don't listen to me sing. But they couldn't hear me anyways. Something else you need to be prepared for is people talking over you. How many concerts have you been to where you talk? That's just how people are. We talk. People may or may not respect you. I had people talking in the back row. I wasn't the only one that had that happen that night. The same group of people was talking over almost everyone. They started like right before me, and it just got more noticeable as the night went on. And when you're up there, if you really have stage fright like I do, you notice everything. I see Will out of the corner of my eye holding a microphone because the microphone just keeps falling. I see, like, my friend Alyssa shifting. If you watch the video, the camera moves. She, like, moved her whole body somewhere, and I just watch her. Like, I'm playing piano, I'm just out of the corner of my eye, like, okay, Alyssa's moving. And you hear the people. Even if, I mean, I could hear them for other performances, so it wasn't just my performance, so I don't think it was just that I was hearing them, and I know other people did too, because other people mentioned it. But even if no one else hears it, you're going to hear the talking, because it's going to distract you, unless you're really good at blocking it all out. Something to remember when you're on there is that you can't actually see anyone. You can maybe see the front row. So if you're really scared about it, try to have your friends sit closest to where you're going to be, in the front row. Because chances are with lighting, that's all you're going to see, if you see anything. Don't look up. I don't know, this is a personal pet peeve, when performers look so disconnected because, like, you know, you've got the audience in front of you. Looking straight ahead is one thing, even if there's no one right there. Looking straight ahead is okay. Looking, like, up to avoid seeing anyone is a personal pet peeve of mine, but I know other people that it bothers too. It's just, you don't feel as connected no matter how much emotion you put into a piece. If you're, like, I was on piano, so I mean, I couldn't really make much eye contact, but if you're just standing center stage and looking up, like Heil Hitler, up, like, no. People tend not to like that because you're not making it an intimate connection. Other instruments, it doesn't matter as much. Flute doesn't matter, eye contact doesn't matter as much. Clarinet, eye contact doesn't matter as much. Violin, not really. Like, stuff like that, because you're usually reading sheet music. But singing, you really need eye contact. People love that. There's so much to worry about. But really, it's traumatizing. I can't say it's not scary. If you're just nervous, it's not scary. If you're like me, where you don't have any urge to perform whatsoever, I mean, I do want to perform, I can't do it. If you're like me, then it's terrifying. You're gonna need to get used to it, I suppose. I guess I'm just gonna be going through it with you. You just need to remember that no one's judging you. And the people who are judging you probably aren't that good themselves. I mean, if you ask someone for criticism, I actually like hearing criticism, constructive criticism. I don't like hearing people whine. Like, I don't like hearing people just complain about me. That's annoying. I hate hearing that, because it's just like, okay, thank you. Another thing that's rude, if you're going to give constructive criticism to someone, is doing it in public. So if you're going to shout it in the middle of, like, a concert hall, like, don't do that. That's just awkward. Don't do it on, like, their Facebook wall. I mean, if you put it on, like, Tumblr Anonymous, I mean, they don't have to reply, so go right ahead, I guess. I mean, it's still not cool, but whatever. I mean, private message them if you're going to do it over the internet. Talk to them privately if you're going to do it in person. Or text them. Because that's the proper way to give someone criticism. Constructive or otherwise. I mean, putting it on YouTube, you're gonna get shit, so that's not a big deal. I mean, it is a big deal, but it's not, like, that's to be expected. When I'm talking about people that you know. What else? Oh, don't worry about people judging you, though, apart from that. Like, I mean, really, judging is probably it should be the least of your concerns. There's so much else. There's so much more stuff that could go wrong. Like, of all the things, don't worry about what people think. Worry about what you're going to think looking back at it. Like, I mean, worry if you're going to think, like, holy crap, why did I not practice this piece more? Like, that kind of thing. Worry about that. And the other thing is, ignore some people. Some people will try to tell you what to do with their lives. And they have no talent. So don't worry about them. Like, honestly, if like, because this actually happened to one of my friends, over the summer. Some, like, math person, I don't even know, like a math nerd or something, I don't know, they weren't into music, though, they weren't, like, a music person, comes up to them and then just criticizes them and, like, walks away. I personally thought they did a good job, and I'm very judgmental of myself, and I'm super judgmental of myself, and I'm pretty judgmental of other people, so, the worst judgment you're ever going to get is from me. And literally, I thought it was a great performance, and I was just, like, kind of watching this guy walk away, like, okay, like, so if people don't know music, really don't feel offended by them. Like, think about your audience. How many of them actually know the song? So, I mean, when you think about that, it's like, unless it's a really super popular song of that age, people aren't going to remember the words, or they're not going to know the words, the lyrics. So, don't worry about forgetting lyrics. I had my sheet in front of me. I had a sheet of lyrics. I didn't even have to look at it. I was just scared that I would. So if you think you need to carry them, then carry them, I guess, or write something on your arm. I was playing piano, so I could hold them. And don't think about other people. I mean, if you absolutely have to, look over the crowd, because that's better for your first time than just standing there and making a fool of yourself. I mean, that's really it. Just go out there and do it, I guess. I don't know. My friends made me go out there and do it, so I went out there and did it, and I don't regret it at all. So you shouldn't either. And don't second guess yourself. Just go for it. Just give up. Go for it. Give in. Do it. So hope that helps. I'm sorry, I can't give much help. We're probably going to be going through this stage fright thing together. So, tell me if you learn any tricks. Just don't imagine the crowd in their underwear, because that never works.